Good morning and welcome to Real Talk with Tamara. As you guys come into the room, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I hope that you guys are doing okay. On this morning, I know that I am. I always express the importance of hitting the like button because the like button helps to keep the video in the algorithm. So, like, share, subscribe, comment, all of those great things, okay? Um, if you would like to, yeah, if you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App. Okay. You could support the channel via Cash App. There's a super thanks button at the bottom of the screen that you can hit to if you would like to support the channel. I prefer Cash App because YouTube takes, I think, 30 or 40% of whatever you send. Okay. Yeah. So if you send $1, I think they take 40%. I get 60 cents. Okay. So um I prefer you send a cash app, okay? I wanted to talk about, will straight drop Plead out or will he be forced to go to trial? And I think about this quite a bit. I would say I've been saying for the longest, like, we're at the middle end as it relates to them. Not as a, there are some people that have not been indicted at this point. So it's just the middle end for a certain bunch of people, and probably just the beginning for the others that was involved. And the thing about deciding to get together and kill somebody, I don't know, it's just gut wrenching to even think about, people deciding that they're going to plot and kill somebody. That's just evil on so many levels. I was talking to an officer yesterday, and of course, when people say, she always name dropping, fuck you. I worked for the police department for 18 years and still do investigative work. So I still do work in the criminal justice system. Okay. I hate to be that vulgar, but I just had to put it out there like that. So I have a lot of friends that are very dear friends. And I was talking about the fact that people, especially when you start thinking about people like straight dropping them, and some of the people whose names that you hear that is involved, it goes back to, like, with he and our era, we knew better, which is why even some of these dudes that call themselves OGs, they knew better also, you know, because they're in the same age bracket as we are. And the fact that they felt like that it was okay to gas up a bunch of young dudes and pay them to go and take young Dolph out is just very evil. I think the nature, and it happens a lot, but I think the nature and the energy around the young Dolph's case is what keeps um so many people, the authorities, that's the ones that I know that's working the case, it is what keeps them energized and determined to make sure that there is justice for young Dolph. And because some of these people have platforms, or big platforms, or whatever, I think the federal entities want to make sure this right here would be a start in making sure that they also put into the atmosphere that if you take money to kill somebody, if you feel like you gangster enough because you got a bag to kill somebody and then jump on your platform and brag about it, we're going to be gangster enough to make sure that we indict you and you get life in jail. And that also sends a message, just like the enemy sends evil demonic force into the atmosphere. They're not being responsible with the platform, and God has allowed them to be on, but God don't, God says the gifts come without repentance. So I don't really know if God gave them the gifts, and even if God did, okay, they are misusing it. Okay. So that can work both ways. The authorities have a platform too, because they can get on national media also when they make these indictments and put into the atmosphere, if you take a human life like a devil, we're going to handle you and you're going to do life. You're going to do life, or we're going to take your life, because they can give you the death chair. Okay. So, you know, it really, it bothers me It bothers me, especially with so many young dudes being misguided and everything, and then these dudes pushing them up to do the very ultimate, which is ruin their very own lives in the process of ruining other people's lives because they can't handle their jealousy. And that energy is just in the atmosphere. Okay, it is because, I get to thinking about jealousy is as cruel as the grave. People doing anything for money. We see that on YouTube. Okay, we see it on YouTube, and you know, liking spirits kind of hang together because a lot of these people are affiliated with those people that did this to young dog, right? But will straight drop plead out, okay? Or will he be forced to go to trial? Um, when straight drop had Ganguly, okay, I written now. I said I kind of corrected it yesterday because I felt like they was gonna, but they really did mislead him, and they can't do a damn thing for him, so they really did lead him to a burning house, and he's just left into that house to burn, okay? Because they don't want to go to jail, okay? And because he did do that to Young Dolph, he did it. He's got to pay for what he did. Okay, but he was led to that burning house by a bunch of OGs that was really supposed to be guiding him in another direction. And so God has to deal with them for that, right? But when he had Ganguly and he didn't have an attorney and all of that, people thought that thinks that Ganguly is a public defender. He's not. He's a court appointed attorney. Court appointed attorneys are private attorneys that have contracts with the DA's office. No, with the county. And when the DA's office is overbooked, they start contracting the work out. Just like with the prosecutor's office, they have their own private and they have their own investigators. When they're overbooked, they start contracting the work out to uh, private investigators that have their own private situations going on that work for themselves. Okay. And so with Straight Drop, Ganguly was always known as the Mooreni was always known as the Plead King. Okay, he knew how to get good deals for his clients. He got them to plead out, especially if he knew that they didn't stand a chance. Okay, if you remember, Ganguly put into the atmosphere a long time ago that somebody was gonna possibly turn on Straight Drop. He did that. That was a dirty move Ganguly made. Okay. I think it made at that point Cornelius hold out a little longer, whoever. Okay. Um, but that was a dirty move he made. But hey, I guess it was I guess a strategy for him. But he had Straight Drop going in the right direction because Straight Drop did not have a paid attorney. I think at that point Straight Drop started to feel like he was out there by himself, which he is. And he started to look at other alternatives. He had an attorney that was telling him to save himself, and he had him going on the right road. Okay, he probably could have. Yeah, he could have. Ganguly is good at getting deals, but the thing about getting deals is you're gonna have to give up something to get something. Okay. Um, and then shortly after that, we saw that Ganguly was no longer his attorney. My grandbaby decides she wants to sing while I'm doing my video. But and so um and so then we saw this attorney that he's got now, okay, which leads me to, oh, will he be forced to go to trial? I look at that attorney with them devil eyes. He got some devil eyes. I've gone and looked at he's been on TV a few times for high profile cases, and I've watched how he was with the judges, and those white judges. He knew how to act. He didn't try to bully them. He knew how to act. He act like a totally different man, and he looked totally different. His eyes don't look as demonic, okay? But with Judge Coffee, a black judge that is very accomplished, that has been on the bench forever, he wants to bully him. You either let my client use the phone, okay? Well then, I tell you what. we're going to ask for you to be removed. Motherfucker, who you think you is? Who you think you is, counsel, that you can bully the judge, a black judge at that, okay? And he stands there with them evil eyes. I watch people's eyes, okay? And so people go, oh, he a bulldog. No, I don't know who hired that attorney. They went to Nashville and got him. They paid him good money because Nashville 3 hours away. So with Nashville being 3 hours away, okay, they have to pay for gas mileage. They have to pay for him to travel from Nashville because he ain't staying over in Memphis. He going back home, and they have to pay for him to go back. Okay, so no attorney goes after a judge that is going to preside over a case if they want to win, which is why I know that attorney don't want to win. I've been saying that from the very start. When I saw that, I said, nah, he ain't trying to win. And then when he got on TV and said, oh, we're ready to go to trial with what they think they got, maybe, he's told Straight Drop, you ain't got nothing to lose. Because, different attorneys will tell you different things because he could always try to work out a deal. How in the hell he think he going to, it's almost, 300,000 pages at this point? How he think he going to win against that? He know he can't. But whoever hired him for Straight Drop, he know what his job is, and that is to make sure that they are protected, not Straight Drop. He just has to make sure that he does not make any plea deals or start working with the state to implicate anybody else. Okay, so that they can sell him on up the river. Okay, that's what I feel. Do I feel like Straight Drop wants to plead out? He got ready to do it before. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Straight Drop ain't doing good. Okay, at one point before, when he first got there and them numbers were being changed, he wasn't doing good. Okay, so then when people know that you might be on the verge of breaking, they start to send people around, say, little dude, we got you. We're gonna take care of you. We're gonna do this. Straight Drop is he's a street dude, but he's still young. These old niggas can think circles around him. He ain't lived long enough, okay, to be able to outthink a whole lot of them because they've been doing this dirt. Okay, I don't care how street savvy he is, he ain't lived long enough. Okay, so when people say, well, Straight Drop a street dude, she ain't no street dude, motherfucker, I've been living 40 some years. I could think a circle around Straight Drop and the rest of them that's his age. I don't give a damn whether I'm in the street or not. I got wisdom that can't be bought. Okay, and with me having wisdom, I can stand on the outside because I've been working in the criminal justice system for over 20 years to see what is really going on. I could call it for what it is. I see what they doing. Okay, I see what they doing, and everybody else see it for what it is that's in the criminal justice system. Okay, but it is ultimately Straight Drop's choice, because I'm sure he's taking a lot of other stuff into consideration, like his family. I don't think you got to worry about his girlfriend. They like her. They ain't gonna do nothing to her. They use her to keep him in line. Okay? So he ain't got to worry about her. Maybe his, her or his baby. But, maybe his mama or some other people, he might be worried about. But we hadn't seen anybody in court in support of him at all. Right? Not at all. So I always said that, with Teezy, I'm hearing that he, he's not handling, still ain't handling that well. Okay. And you have to think about just with what I've heard as it relates to the situation surrounding Teezy. They already on a trail. Okay. And I think Straight Drop knows. Okay. And I think with most people, especially when they're evil and demonic, they may feel like, well, that'll put more fear in him or whatever. I don't know. I just know that this whole situation is sad. I do. When you're talking about all of this murder and mayhem, and people think that it's cool because that's what they like to put into the atmosphere. I guess that's supposed to be exciting at this point when it's actually really sick. I don't know what's going on with our community, but it's very, very hurtful to me. I know I get on here and I cuss and I act a fool, but I have a passion, and I always have, for our community. You know, um, I know a lot of stuff was engineered back in the day, especially when black people. I love to look at, and I know I'm going into another direction, but I'm gonna bring it back home. I love to look at documentaries from like the 70s when it was at Black Power. I'm Black and I'm Proud, the Afros. I love to look at Watt Stacks. Oh my God, that's my favorite documentary, when all those black people were out there and the food was different. Even when you saw heavy set black people, they didn't have stomachs. They started changing, putting stuff in the food to cause obesity. And then in the 80s, then they started using that light skin situation, you know, which I'm sure some people have had issues with being dark skinned. Okay. But I ain't no damn victim, because I know men likes to eat chocolate. Okay. I've never in my life had an issue with being, I'm a dark chocolate woman, and I love every ounce of it. Okay. Every ounce of it. But they started putting stuff into the atmosphere. And I know that there's that colorism, because when you go down to New Orleans, there's a lot of New Orleans that's very, because they've been taught that you can't be darker than that, or Louisiana, that paper brown. You got to be paper bag brown or whatever. The lighter you are, the more you're accepted around that area. But that's because a lot of people just kind of carry that slave mentality. The lighter you are, the better you are. But I think that's like a generational curse, but it does not happen in every family. It does not. Every dark skinned person is not messed up because they're dark skinned. Of course, I'd be a fool if I would say a lot of people are color struck, but that is because they've been traumatized in some kind of way. That's something that they have been taught. In their family, their generation, that slave mentality just kind of carries on. And so then they started promoting that on TV, and then they brought crack into the black community to start to tear up um, the black families, right? And one of the things that I love about, young Dolph, when he talk about I was a crack baby, and being extremely proud of um, being born in that crack era, and it affected his parents, and being able to beat the odds and being proud of it, and then helping his parents, which is why his father got on TV in that documentary and cried and said, I don't have to worry about nothing. This man beat the odds, talked about how he came from nothing, and these fuck niggas killed him. And now they mad because the feds is saying they're gonna get them, because they gonna get them. And so that's why when they have their vloggers and they people on here trying to put certain stuff into the atmosphere, people say, but you don't have a way. Well, I sure don't, because I know the damn truth. And the truth is that them folks gonna get them. Because just like they had a point to prove, okay, when they killed him and started jumping on their platforms and putting negative energies into the atmosphere with young people who was already misguided, putting that stuff into the atmosphere, making them think it is okay to slaughter a human being and then laugh about it like a demonic Jeffrey Dahmer. The authorities have a point to prove by letting them know what you motherfuckers did was against the law. And we got a point to prove to these same young people that's misguided, that was watching y'all, that what you motherfuckers did was wrong, and it carries a death sentence or a life sentence. Okay? And if I had to bet on anybody, I would bet on the federal government. Okay? Because like I said, they can't run out of money. I was thinking about, how there was like a consistent. See, young Dolph had been coming home. Straight Drop them had been mad at young Dolph even before he signed Big Unk. Okay. And he was coming home and he was putting those turkeys out. Some jealous nigga decided that he had to go. Okay. That's why when I was told last year, okay, that there was and I kept telling y'all, I said, y'all, a credible source told me that there was a order that he not walk out of that cookie shop. People jumped on my live. I was looking at that video the other day. It got 15,000 views last year. People was jumping on my live, and they was jumping on my live, and folks sending me cash apps before I come on. I appreciate that. Thank you, Miss Robbie. I appreciate that. They was jumping on my video rather, and they was mad as hell. But like I said, don't get mad at me. I was told by a credible source that there was an order that he not walk out of that cookie shop. Get mad. They weren't really mad at me. They was mad at me for saying it, but they was outdone that whoever it is that's investigating, the people that's investigating the case knew about the order that he not walk out of that cookie shop. Okay. So if they knew about the order that he not walk out the cookie shop, you already know they knew who it was that gave the order that he not walk out of the cookie shop. Right. So, people are grasping for straws now. I feel like Straight Drop is being forced to go to trial because he got that lawyer was put there to make sure that he goes to trial, knowing he can't win. Hopefully, I was getting ready to say he might look for technicalities because what high-powered attorneys do when they know that people can't win, they look for technicalities, and that's when stuff start getting thrown out. There'll be mistrials and things of that nature. But he knows that that's not going to happen. He has strictly been put there to make sure that Straight Drop does not work with the state, and he goes to trial and get life or death. That's it. That's all. Okay. And I think it's a darn shame because, as I always say, Straight Drop is a young man. He's a nice looking young man, and he's not a bad rapper. He could have been better. They could have helped to make him better. They could have marketed him to the young girls. I'm gonna tell you something. One of my girls said to me. She said, "Mama, I'm gonna tell you something. I say this all the time." She said, "Mama, don't get mad at me, but I'm gonna tell you something. If Straight Drop had not got caught up in this young dog situation, and I had met him out there in Memphis, I sure would have talked to him because he sure do look good. You know, Straight Drop got them little bow legs and stuff, which is a reason why I know that was him that was out there. His legs a little bow. It's a lot of It's just some things that you're born with that you can't hide, right? But they could have helped to make him better. Instead, they dangled a better life in his face, and his mindset could have been better too, because I'm sure he's seeing now, and hopefully a lot of other young dudes are seeing you can't come up off the backs of somebody else. They thought that they was going to come up off the back of young Dolph, and that was off the back of Trey and Ari's father by taking him away from them. Okay, and God just didn't let it was ripped to shreds. Let me tell y'all something, if I ain't already said this. The folks knew what had happened and who was involved that night. It's all about help, just continuously putting their case together. So they may as well have left them alone. And if nothing else, these young dudes need to take a look, okay, at what is happening with Straight Drop, the players, and how people have turn their backs, okay, on a lot of these folks, the same OGs that talk about murder and mayhem, how they duck and dodge going to jail. This right here should be an eye opener to these young dudes. Well, this motherfucker don't want to go to jail. Why he want me to do it? Because I'm gonna tell you something, the OGs that's still hanging out in the hood will turn their nose up and shake their head in a minute, even if they don't say a whole lot, because they real OGs. They ain't emotional. Okay, the only time that you gonna see them bust something is when somebody try to bust something on them. They ain't gonna get mad because somebody said their name. That's sissy stuff. They look at dudes like that as being sissies. Okay, but they'll say in a minute, they was wrong. They know that wasn't supposed to happen. They was never supposed to kill him. That was never supposed to happen. Okay. And I'm talking about hard to the core. That's the reason why I know a lot of these pink panty niggas that claim that they OGs ain't shit, a bunch of damn sissies. Like I said, if you can't stand for somebody to say your name, you can't stand to be talked about. You need to take your ass to a damn ballerina class and put on a damn pink dress and bend over on your tiptoes, stand on your tiptoes and bend over and do some ballet situations. Okay, show your pink panties. Because that's what's going on. Don't no men get jealous to this point. Okay, folks been dissing each other in rap since the beginning of rap. That's how it was created, battle rapping. But now all of a sudden somebody gotta die. And then you're so demonic, you want to jump on your platforms and brag about it. And this is one of the reasons why they say that they have to be God, and now they pull some of these simp ass vloggers in and they going to jail too. These folks do anything for money. Let me tell y'all something. If y'all want to take care of y'all kids and stuff, it's other ways to do it other than setting folks up. Because these motherfucking record labels is a day from going down, okay? And y'all motherfuckers gonna be right in jail. When what y'all gonna do for y'all kids then, you old tramp? No, ooh, stop me, God, stop me. Okay? Because it don't make no sense what people are willing to do for money. And in the end, it ain't gonna work out anyways, okay? It hadn't worked. It's when it's found out. I'm gonna tell you something that this old major that I used to work for, his name was Major Williams, and he was over Crime Stoppers. I gotta reach out to him. He's retired now. His sister also, she went all the way up to inspector. She was sweet. So my dad, she's good friends with my dad. He used to always say, "Look here, T," because I would always get real mad about stuff. He said, "Look here, T, let me tell you something. When you know what a person has done, you already won half the battle. It's when you don't know that you're losing. But when you know, when you can identify it, and you've already won half the battle." Right? So the night that young Dolph was assassinated, they had already won half the battle. These folks just didn't know it. And now they're bringing in a home run. Okay. I got faith. I always have. Because I always knew the truth. I ain't try to manipulate it. I ain't going to go Photoshop no shit. I ain't going to do none of that. My mind don't work like that. It's some things I can't do for no money. It's okay to put on a good show though, but my mind don't work like that. Okay? It don't. I'm straight. It just don't. Okay? But hey, I feel like Straight Drop would be he's being forced to go to trial because that's what that whoever is paying for that attorney, and I think they know who's paying for the damn attorney. Because when I was talking to somebody, was it yesterday? I talked about that attorney. I said, we had a conversation about that attorney. They know exactly who's paying for it, and they know who's funneling the damn money to pay for it. Ain't that something? Them folks on their damn job. Okay, so it's something, it's something. But hey, I hate that all of this happened. I do. I hate that it happened. When people say you just want to see them go to jail, I want to see anybody go to jail that think that they can just kill folks because they say their name. You want to just take somebody out because somebody has an issue with them. You think you could put a bag on somebody's head. I want to see all of them in jail. I was getting ready to say something else, but God won't let me say it. Okay? Because I've been trying to control myself because I was getting ready to say something real ugly. Okay? But yes, I want it to be justice. Okay? For those that feel like that they can just destroy families and destroy people just because they get mad. That's not what men are supposed to do. You have to reap what you sow. If nothing else, these men should be trying to make better decisions, especially if they've been blessed enough to have attain some type of success in the industry, and make sure that they're taking care of their families and things of that nature, being out for their women and their children. I'm a woman. That's the reason why I go so hard. Okay. Because these men are making bad decisions and they're compromising their families. And that's not how it's supposed to be. Okay. That's just not how it's supposed to be. But anyways, you guys, I'm going to stop it right here. I want you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you could definitely support the channel via Cash App. I love you guys. I'll speak with you later.